That's the whole video.
Just put the cut in there, or you didn't add the special effects.
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay, you ready?
I guess. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Hi, John.
Hello, Chris.
Slender Man is a new horror film out in theaters this weekend, and I went and saw it with my buddy John Flickinger because we tend to see movies like this together, and we love talking about them together, and I love making videos about this together with you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for that introduction. Usually I'm talked into seeing movies like this with you. I'm always laying in bed in the fetal position, and you force me to do it. And then I cry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Slender Man is about some teenage girls who summon Slender Man. They watch a video on the internet,
Yes.
Referred to as a website video by Joey King, the actress. They all watched a website video.
Yeah.
Welcome to this website video we're making, in which we talk about Slender Man. I hope that you enjoy watching it on this website, because we can't say the word YouTube.
We cannot. We cannot use YouTube, or else they probably would have in the video. But had they used YouTube in the movie, everyone would be dead on the planet.
Right.
Movies like Slender Man make me miss movies like Bye Bye Man or Truth or Dare.
I'm very sorry.
Because at least those are slightly entertaining in a bad way.
Yeah.
This film's just, it's boring.
Yeah, that's my biggest issue, I think, with Slender Man, is that, like, I'll be honest with you, like, for the first 20 minutes, I was thinking, this could be worse. This could be a lot worse than it is. And it's basically because the film does have some creepy imagery and some entertaining ideas, like the idea of Slender Man using FaceTime basically to come to these people's houses. And you said earlier that it looked like it was shot on a gimbal. Slender Man just coming through their house, and that's kind of an entertaining idea. Yes. The actual video they watch on the website that they go to, it was kind of creepy. It reminded me of the Ring Curse tape, which was definitely tributing or ripping off or paying homage to that, whatever you want to call it. But then at some point you realize that the film only has creepy imagery. There's no characters, there's no real story, there's no real narrative. It doesn't even really have a main protagonist, and then it just gets boring.
Yeah, the movie does not know what it wants to be. And I wanted a movie that either focuses on Slender Man or the insanity of these girls and their obsession with Slender Man. That could have been a good movie either way. This movie can't make up its mind. And much like Slender Man, I like to scare teenage girls with Snapchat as well.
Okay.
It's a joke, it's a joke. I just,
I believed you.
Yeah.
I thought you were telling the truth.
Follow the flick pic on Snapchat.
In regards to the main characters, it's these 4 teenage girls. And I felt like they all went missing in the order of most talented to least talented.
Yeah, why couldn't the least talented actress die first in the film, and then it would have been a better movie?
The young girl in the film from Oculus, who I thought was amazing in Oculus, she's the first to go missing. And Joey King, who is probably the most known, definitely the most known out of all of them, is kind of at one point the main character. And then it's another girl who's the main character, and it switches so much. The acting here is, for the most part, awful.
Very panicky, to say the least. Well, Slender Man, we have to sacrifice something we love, but I can't sacrifice.
This film needed more insane moments. It needed just, and not just because I want to go to a movie and laugh at a horror film that I find hilariously bad. It just needed more moments that went for it. Our favorite scene, I think, in the whole movie is when the one girl and the boy, that they start making out, and he gets kind of into it, and I was like, are they about to like have sex right now in this movie? And Slender Man somehow infects him, and his face starts like going all over the place.
Some he takes, some he drives mad.
We were squealing like little girls.
It was like zooming in on his face,
and it just
and it was like this crazy. It's everything I wanted the rest of the movie to be.
And that's what this movie should have been, because if you look at what this movie's based on, it's based on a free-to-download game from 2012. the demo for this movie are like teenagers or people who just want to go and see a scary movie with funny scenes and crazy stuff happening. This movie took itself way too serious.
Absolutely.
And it should not have.
Yeah, and it's also way too late. Like, I feel like this has died out. Like, Slender Man is a thing. There's been docs about it. There was a horrifying real-life case with 2 girls who attacked another girl because they believed in Slender Man, and I just feel like we're done with this. Like, maybe move on. Like,
5 years past its due date. Yeah.
Like, we're done with Slender Man. But Hollywood wants to milk everything for all it's worth. And it seems like every 5 to 10 years, Hollywood wants to make a movie based around some urban legend. They actually made a movie called Urban Legend with Jared Leto.
That was pretty bad.
About a whole bunch of them, yeah. I mean, there were a few moments in the movie that I thought were okay. Some atmospheric building, some great lighting, some sound effects work that was good, and then but that's all it has. It's a big movie where people walk through corridors or hallways or see creepy lights, and maybe he's behind you in the corner, and then nothing happens.
And when you do finally see him, he's a big CGI monster guy.
Big tree man.
Takes you right out of it. The thing about this film is, it just borrows every trope, every cliche thing from every horror film of the last 5 years, and all those things are bad because they're based around teenage girls texting each other or FaceTiming or Snapchat or using the internet to watch scary videos. And this movie takes all of those things but does a worse job than every other movie that already did them.
Absolutely. And it also doesn't really follow its own rules. There's a lore that's set up for Slender Man at different points and you never really explore it. Like, they go into the woods and they're like, we have to give Slender Man something we love so we can get our friend Katie back. And they all do it. And then the one girl is stupid and she peeks out of her blindfold and then Slender Man appears. And I guess whatever they tried to do didn't work because maybe she peeked or whatever. And then towards the end of the movie, mild spoilers, I guess, if you're really concerned, one of the girls feels that she needs to give herself to Slender Man to solve all these problems.
Yes.
So she approaches him and is like, take me. And he goes basically like, okay. And he just appears and comes towards her and she screams and runs away. I'm like, why are you in the woods right now?
Why did you do this?
Why are you running? You just literally said out loud, take me. And now you're running away because, oh my God, he's scarier looking than I thought?
Yeah, she could have had at least one heroic moment in the movie and it still couldn't even do that.
And the wrap up for the movie, I thought was just the most throwaway narration from a character we've barely experienced, and it just ended. And I was like, all right, well, they made a Slender Man movie. I'm so glad.
No, this film, listen, this movie could have been made with a budget of $25,000 out in the woods with some flashlights. It should have been on the level of what they did with the Blair Witch.
This could be a fun found footage movie, yeah.
Yeah, it should have been that. If ever you were going to do that, this is the one, because it's a POV game with a flashlight.
Yeah.
It's a perfect opportunity.
They could have made a lot more money too.
They could have.
And I don't know why I'm actually campaigning for a found footage movie at this point.
We need to acquire the IP to this and make this film, Chris.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, and we also need to acquire the rights to YouTube so we don't have to say website video.
We have to say website video.
Yeah.
At the very least, with a movie like this, I expect it to be maybe a little frightening or just a little bit suspenseful. But it's just a bunch of jump scares over and over again. There's a scene in the library where Joey King is looking for a book because, she has to go to the library because it's a horror movie with teenagers. So there's a library scene. And she hears a noise and she turns around and the librarian just appears on a cart. And it's like, boom, dong. I couldn't stop laughing. It was everything that I wanted for the rest of the movie. I wanted scenes like that. And then this library scene goes on, and she, of course, falls down and forgets how to walk. The girls are constantly falling in the forest and forgetting how to run without tripping. And it's just every horror movie cliche you could think of. When the girls are all together, what do they talk about? The boys they like. It's just every cliche over and over again.
They do watch porn at one point in the beginning.
Yeah, that did happen, yeah.
And I was like, that's funny. That was sort of like...
a little more realistic.
Yeah, have some fun with this. Other than watching camera shots of them texting on their phone for 25% of the movie.
Also, here's a thing that I noticed throughout the movie. Okay. The main character sometimes, and then sometimes not the main character, apparently she's really into track. Because when they go out into the woods to give something up that they love,
yes.
The one girl's like, I'm surprised you're not giving one of your awards up or one of your medals.
Oh.
And I was like, where's this confrontation from? And then later in the movie, they have another little conversation where she's like, don't you have track practice? Why is this a thing? We've never even seen her in track practice or her medals or her awards. Like, why is this a subplot? It's like a big deleted subplot that they keep referencing.
And it could have played out. Maybe there would have been a scene at the end of the movie where she runs away from Slender Man through the woods and actually escapes.
But she falls down all the time. So why is she in track? She sucks at running.
She has no balance.
She has no balance.
Maybe she does discus.
Slender Man just walking towards her, and she takes a rock and throws it and decapitates him.
Yeah.
I would have liked that.
That would have been a better ending.
I would have loved it.
Just take a fucking chainsaw and cut the tree down.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like he lives in a tree or something. He sucks all of them into a tree, and then he just sits out there in the woods.
I think that was the plot of the Halloween Ernest movie.
I don't really feel like grading this movie because like I don't really know what to say. I'll give Slender Man like a D. It had like a couple scenes, and I was like, oh, all right, whatever. But then it doesn't do anything, and it just ends, and it's a long series of nothing because there's no characters really. I mean, it's not like I go to these movies expecting much. It's just that sometimes I've seen so many horror movies at this point that I expect just a minimal amount of things to happen.
Yeah.
And this movie didn't really even go much beyond just a few creepy parts.
I went in expecting nothing, and I got less than that. I honestly feel this movie made me tired when I was watching it. I wanted to sleep.
Yeah. Well, guys, those are our thoughts on Slender Man.
Go check it out, guys. It's pretty good.
Yeah, go see Slender Man. Yeah. That's my recommendation. Is that you go see it.